Hello, I want to thank you for joining my channel, Daryl Speaks. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means everything and it really goes a long way, so thank you. Now, if any of you know anything about high school, you'll know that this story has spread through the whole school by the end of my period. Not even another hour, maybe about 30 more minutes, the whole school. I was rather impressed by how quickly it spread and the amount of stories that I had heard or that people were coming up to tell me about what had happened in the bathroom in my last period. It's like a game of telephone. It's like everybody was getting a little piece and then adding their own version, their own story, their own perceptions of me, X, Y, and Z. The amount of people that were coming up to me asking questions about what happened, what did you do, here's what I heard. It was actually becoming overwhelming. But in my head, I didn't really want to focus in on that too much. I ignored most of the questions. I didn't say anything because, there were no teachers there. That was my main thing. It was just students. It's all hearsay, she say. Though everybody's talking about it, it's just he say, she say, So if I can keep quiet, get through the end of the day, maybe everything would die out by the next day. So come the next day, to be completely honest with you, I didn't really hear much about the story. Like there were a few rumblings here and there, but in all totality, I really didn't hear much, especially not like the onslaught that I was hit with, the day prior. So that made me feel really good. It was also a Friday, I do remember this. And so as I knocked out first period's done, I'm like, okay, if I can get through the rest of this day, no questioning from teachers, the rumblings are dying down, we're on a Friday. By the time we come back to school on Monday, this will be an afterthought. It'll be nothing to be mentioned. Everything will be fine. So then first period gets done, third period gets done, nothing, no hearing nothing. I'm excited. I go to lunch. Lunch goes well. Again, don't hear anything. Okay, I come back from lunch. I go to my fifth period class because we did 1, 3, 5, 7 on maroon days. So I'm going to my fifth period. I'm like, the day is halfway over. My spirits are kind of uplifted. So my fifth period, I remember this so vividly. It was concert band. Bishop McNamara was a fine arts school, and so they required you to take some fine arts, at least just one. And so the one that I picked was concert band, because in middle school I played the trumpet one time. Bad decision, but neither here nor there. So I remember I was the third chair. I'm in concert band. We're going through. We're playing. And over the intercom, all you hear is Daryl Fowlkes to the dean's office. Everybody in the classroom turns around and looks at me because they all know why I'm getting called. I know why I'm getting called. The way my stomach sank to the bottom of my butt, like just through the floor. Oh, it was the worst feeling ever. The worst feeling ever. That walk to the dean's office was the longest walk of my life. Like it really felt like it was taking eternity, and it wasn't that far of a walk. On that walk, I'm having a bajillion conversations in my head. The first one, I'm like, I wonder what it's about. And I'm like, obviously I know what it's about. I'm like, could it be something else? And I'm like, well, if it is, you have no clue what you're walking into, but now you know what this is. Then I go, okay, should I be honest? And then my thought processing at that time was about, well, let's tell the truth or not. Remember, there were no teachers that saw me leave the bathroom, the female's bathroom. It was just students. So it's my word against students' words, I'm assuming, right? Even if it's a bunch of students' words, that's still just rumor mill. There were no cameras in that hallway. There were no cameras in the main hallway, right? But even the cameras, if they were cameras in the main hallway, remember, there was another hallway that leads to the bathrooms, and they were split in that hallway. So there was no cameras there. It's really my word against a bunch of students. And so with that thought processing, I came in with the understanding that I shouldn't tell the truth because if I just deny, and it's just my word against theirs, there's no way they could bring real ramification, like maybe a detention, something along those lines, but there's no real ramification that can come from this because it's just word against word, right? And so I remember our dean at the time was Mr. Brady. Mr. Brady was a no-nonsense guy. He wasn't like an unrealistic individual, like, he wasn't super strict or anything like that. He actually got along with the students very well in all grades, but he just was not about nonsense, and you could tell that about him. And so I had this understanding walking in, which is probably leaning me towards why lying, like not telling the truth, because if I tell the truth, that's just terrible. Like you have to punish that in some way, and he was a no-nonsense guy. I knew he would punish it in some way. So that was my game plan walking into his office. So I open the door to Mr. Brady's office. I've never been in here before. It is extremely dark, y'all. Like, there's no window anywhere. There's like dark paint on his walls. I don't know, it just seemed like he had like a dim light too. Like, I don't know if he does it to intimidate students, but it was extremely dark. That did not make me feel welcome. That did not make me feel any better than I was already feeling. I was already nervous as heck. I'm trying to seem unbothered, but it's not working. He has a very, very stern voice, and he says, "Sit down, Daryl." And I'm like, okay, we're being serious today. We're meaning business. That's fair. I didn't really have much of a rapport with Mr. Brady to begin with before this incident. You know, I've seen him around, but we've never talked or anything. So I know it's no nonsense. We're getting straight to the point, right? So he wastes no time. He comes out and says, "There are some alarming accusations that have come against you that I would like to ask you about." And he's like, "But let me stop right there and say to you that, you know, if you are honest with me, then I can help you as best as I can. But if you are not honest with me and I find out," let me stop you right there. If you find out, you got to think about it from my perspective. Like, the only people that saw anything were students, and no one can physically, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, put me in the bathroom at this point in time. And so when he says, you know, if I'm not honest with him and if he finds out, at that point I've made the conscious decision to lie, like 1000%, because it's my word against other students. You can't take a student's word over mine, even if it's multiple of them, in my opinion, at that point in time. And so as long as I deny, then it is my word against theirs, and then I'll be fine. And so I took that approach. It didn't matter. Now, also take this a step forward. He was talking as if, you know, we had like a rapport. Like, you know, if you tell me the truth, you know, I can do the best that I can to help you, and blah, blah, blah. I'll be in a better position too. And it's like, I don't really know him at all at this point, outside of just being the dean of the school. Like, we had no relation, no connection. I didn't have any classes with him. So to me, it felt like him saying that was more so to like get me to admit, and then he would burn me on the back end, because like, it's not like you're like my friend or like anybody that I'm, you know, close to. And so I didn't see the need at that point in time to like be honest, have this come to Jesus moment with this man that I didn't know. And I felt like if I told the truth, it would come against me when I'm the only one that can place myself there. Well, me and obviously the girl that I was in there with. But in my eyes, I'm like, there's no way on God's green earth she's gonna say, you know, that she was in the bathroom with me. When it's, you know, I'm thinking she's thinking with the same mentality as me. So after that, I didn't care what he said after that. I just knew, yep, I'm not saying anything. So he finishes his disclaimer, and then he goes, "Do you understand?" And I say, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Okay, cool. There have been rumblings that yesterday afternoon you were in the women's bathroom with a female student. Is that true?" I said unequivocally, with no question, and I didn't even flinch, "No, sir, that's not true. I've never been in the women's bathroom." Let me stop it right there. I don't even know where the never part came from. Like, why did I say never? It was so extra. It didn't even, I could have just said no. I said never been in the women's bathroom ever. It's like, it was even now, it's like, that to me makes me look even guiltier. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me makes me, like, because why did I say that? You usually add in things to make yourself sound more believable when you're lying. So in hindsight, I don't know why I said that. And of course, Mr. Brady goes, never? Like, he questions me back, like, "You've never been in the women's bathroom?" And I'm not gonna lie, when he did that, that kind of took me aback, and I was kind of like, oh, maybe I've just been found out. But I had to double down at this point, so I said, "No, sir, I've never ever been in the women's bathroom." And he looks at me for like a good, what seemed to me like eternity, but probably just like 10, 15 seconds at best. And he goes, "Okay, thank you, Daryl, for answering my questions." He goes, "Now I'm going to call in the alleged woman that you were, or, you know, female student that you were in the bathroom with." He said, "If any part of her story does not align with yours, it's not going to be good for you, Daryl." I said, "I understand, Mr. Brady." He said, "Okay, no more questions for you. You can now go back to class." So after that, I get up, walk out of Mr. Brady's office, and go back to class. And some of you may think I might feel relieved that I've had this conversation, and, you know, it has not, at least at this point, ended in the worst possible way. Absolutely not. I still had anxiety on 100. I was still nervous as heck. And now I'm thinking about what, you know, my friend is going to say when she goes into Mr. Brady's office. Now, in my mind, there's no way, right, it would ever make sense to say that we were in the bathroom together when no teachers caught us and it's just students, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah, I'm convincing myself that, you know, she's going to stand in agreement with what I said. And even thinking about what Mr. Brady said at the end of our conversation, the only thing that would have made this go further is if my story didn't align with hers. It wasn't as if he was calling in the students who said they saw us to confirm or ratify their story. As long as me and her story aligned, this would be the end of it. And so I'm like, yeah, that's easily what she's gonna say, and we're gonna be good. And so as long as I can get through, concert band and then my last period of the day with no issue, and never hearing my name over that intercom again, everything will be smooth sailing, right? And so with this newfound hope at how I had handled this situation, in my eyes, the best way that I could at that point, I walked back to class feeling a little bit better. To know what happens next, you'll have to tune in next week for episode 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good one. If you made it to this point in the video, I want to say thank you so much for watching the full video. Your support really does mean everything. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's free, and it really does go a long way by pushing my content on YouTube. Also follow my social medias as they are on the screen now. Until next time.